Property transformations take a lot of work. That's why we're calling in the big shots. Let's roll into today's episode and head up the mountain. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the landscape episode, where today we are heading up to the mountainside and we got a big time property redo. We're going to get the wood chipper hooked up to the dump truck because we are going to be either chopping or shredding some trees out on the property. I'm also going to have to bring out the little pecan skid steer forestry mulcher. A newer well-off couple has decided to build their forever homestead on the side of a rock, and while it is nice that they are leaving more of a nature feel to the plot, they do want to clear out some of the surrounding areas from things like falling trees, or really anything a house in the middle of the woods might cause problems. I believe the real fun is going to be finding this homestead. Well, it's certainly not you. All my instructions say is that it is a very rough dirt driveway and that is encased in forestry growth. I think that's about right. Man, that is a steep hill climb. Oh, hello, there's a tree stump. Let's head back to the shop and grab some more tools. If you guys are fans of the landscape series and you'd love to see me continue more projects, be sure to let me know down below by smashing that like button and consider subscribing. Our 12-valve Dodge is currently at the shop for some repairs, so we're going to be taking out the Ford. I would like to have a longer trailer, that way we could haul both things at the same time. We just don't have enough money to afford expanding a new shop, and I think it'll be at least a couple more jobs before we could even consider throwing that into the budget. I said it back in 22, but these forestry mulchers are literally my absolute favorite piece of machinery that can go for a skid steer. And I really would not own a landscape shop in this game without one. I just couldn't find one for the longest time. Let's get our keister back on the road and over to the job site. The best plan of attack is likely going to be tearing out the unwanted trees and disposing of the excess material, but the forestry mulcher is going to be used to get rid of all of this junk, the stuff that's cleaning up the sides. I think the only trees we really need to take out are these three on this side, these two, except that little, I think that's a dogwood. I don't know what this is to my exact right, but I kind of like that there. We'll check with the property owner. And then however they decide to gravel the front of the house, that will be up to them. Let's head up in the drone and analyze the project. Doesn't look like we have really that much to cut out. I know we have the stuff right alongside the driveway. This one, and this one, along with some of the dead ones in the backyard. If I could just learn how to properly cut a tree down, we will not have any issues. I have it pointing away from the house and anything that I'm driving. I have had horrible luck with cutting. Okay. Yes! Success! Take off all the excess branches. I'm gonna go ahead and start dragging this thing into the Vermeer. Just need to turn it on. That is tree number 1. Let's see how many wood chips we got. About 500. Not bad, but we got quite a few more to go if you haven't been able to tell. Cut it low and cut it to the opposite side. We've already had a tree fall on this thing once. I will not do it again. There it goes. 2 for 2. Goes number 3. As much as I do not like doing forestry work, I have pretty much been doing a lot of it the last few episodes, now that I really think about it. I don't even remember what tree I'm on anymore, and that one's going straight towards the garage! Well, that was a close one. Okay, note to self, don't ever do that again. Singing in the bit. There's a big one. Gotta feed the machine. I'm gonna try cleaning up just a little bit in the backyard with some of these stumps. That way we have a clear working area. Oh yeah, that's kind of odd. And in 22 it would make like a plowed texture on the ground, but now it just scalps it all the way to pay dirt. That's an oddly convenient but also frustrating feature. Yeah! Take out all that shrub. You almost could just make like a really cool looking walking trail. Is that a rock or a stump? Nope, that's a stump. Man, I really want to try and convince these guys to keep this as a walking trail in the backyard. That's really cool. Just take it right down to the creek bed. Just not into the creek bed. Take another path right up to the back of the house. And I think we'll try and clear a few more trees out. This guy's not really causing any harm. We'll leave him. But we need to get this one out of the way, and that is a straight shot to hit the garage if I cut this wrong. Lumber skills, please be on my side. I beg of you. Yes. Yes. Farm Sim's best lumberjack. Chop it into 3 segments, feed it through the machine, and I believe we can start chopping logs and throwing them into the dump box. Got a little over 2,000 liters. Not too shabby. I stand corrected, there is one more dead tree. Might not have been able to see it, but I caught it out of the corner of my eye. Oh, that one wants to go right into the water. It's all right. It is what it is. We actually got a decent little chunk of wood chips out of that. I'm pretty impressed. Let's shut that off, get it folded up, and I will not need this when I'm taking this to the dump. Topping out with about 3,800 wood chips, if you don't already know. That is Farm Sim's greatest radio station. It seems a little cheesy to do self-promo, but it just lines up so good every time. I'll just ride the brakes all the way down, and we are on our way over to the dump. I think this road should take me directly to it. Yes, because I think I just go straight up the hill. I feel like that was my corner. Is that my corner? Yes, I think it was. I do not believe I also started a wood chip pile. I think I only have a grass and a lumber pile. No? Oh yeah, I do. Beautiful. Once we get the remaining trees hauled out, we're going to get the sod company contacted so they can come out here and lay the grass. After a few weeks, we'll come in and give it a nice fresh cut. And then we're going to also decorate out the lawn with some new placeables. That way, aesthetically, the yard can look a lot crisper, but also it gives the turf a chance to kind of get itself started rather than just instantly planting and then we just come in here and cut it. You want to let that grass rest for a little bit, as fresh sod is really, really soft. Got the trees cut alongside the driveway, just kind of trying to find out where the excess branches are actually located. Do the same for our other buddy. And as you guys can see, that opens up the visibility of the driveway by eons. Like, that is immensely clearer. It still leaves the forestry aesthetic, but just looking at it from up above, it does help the visibility. We might still need to chop this guy out, but we'll confirm on that one before we go through with it. I just have a lot of cutting to do. Section here, section there. Good thing we have the dump truck, and we can haul multiple loads at a time. But these trees had to be so dang tall. There's a very high chance I'm gonna need to change my chainsaw blade after this, that or at least sharpen it. Just start throwing logs in. All I can officially say is that this Ford is going to be loaded down. If I blow the transmission on it, I blame no one but myself. But I want to stack as much of the wood in the dump trailer as I can possible, because the dump truck does not have a set of straps that go in the dump box. This at least does have straps. Plus, if we think about it, we could throw a couple logs in the bed of the pickup. We got options. I'm not worried. Am I going to be able to fit like 90% of this tree in my main trailer? Because that would be awesome. That is still one giant log. Try to save on some space. I'm going to put the small logs in the back of the truck bed. No reason wasting the big space on these little ones. How many more of these do we have? 3 if I chop off the end. We are set. Bag it, tag it, and send it to a kid on Christmas. Let's test out how good our brakes are on this truck. I don't think they're bad, but I'm not going to say they're going to be great. Brakes, I guess, aren't that bad. A lot better than I thought they'd be. I feel like the tree pile is going to be the biggest. I don't know. What do you think? Now to see how nice the logs are going to play when we try to dump them out. On the dump truck, it worked great. On this, I might have to get a little bit of a running start. You gotta give it just a little bit of encouragement. Yeah. Wonderful. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. You, and you. Making us set to go. Let's pop back in the skid steer and start tearing up the lawn. I did get confirmation that we are going to leave a little bit of a trail in the backyard, so don't tear up the whole property. That way we could start prepping for the sod installation. Start off by going down the driveway. We did get clearance to cut that one tree out, and it was a service berry. I am like fully on the brakes, so this thing is just sucking me down the hill. Not fun, but certainly adventurous. I think we're supposed to cut about a 3-lane wide pass on each side, and the sod guys will take care of the rest for placement. These forestry mulches, man, they just make it so convenient to get rid of all the extra stumps and, whoa, debris you just don't want to have to mess with. Move it over to the other side. I am still kind of sad that it doesn't really take the ground back to like a plowed state as the 22 version did. But this almost leaves a more realistic look in my opinion. Just going to take a little bit of time to get used to. Chop through some more shrubbery. Gotta be another stump around here somewhere. I think it'll be on my path coming back up. Ah, yes, there it is. Munch that sucker down. Oh, jeez, there's another one. That's a big boy. Just make quick work of it. Nothing to see here. Gonna pass back behind the new garage. Got another stump. It's a good thing they did not already send in their order for sod, as they would have lost quite a bit of money had they paid for the entire area. Just a few more spots. Another stump. We will just about be set to go. We have one more trail system to cut down off of this little Y point that kind of follows the creek bed. But is there a term that can describe a house having more of a side yard than a backyard? This little patch off to the right kind of is the only area of the house that actually will have a lawn. Just finished that little bit of a trail, and I believe that is all we are going to be able to do. We will check back in a couple of days when the contractor comes out with the sod and gets this all looking nice and pretty. Let's move on to our next station. It has successfully been about 3.5 weeks since our last visit to the property. Let's load back up with the Husqvarna Zero Turn and make our way back to the job site. I would like to bag it, but the owner said don't worry about it. They like to leave the grass clippings on the ground for an extra source of nitrogen. And to be fair, the more nutrients we can leave on the soil, the better. My guess is we're not going to have to do too much decorating in order to really beautify the property. Mother Nature has done that herself. But with just a quick haircut and a few simple lawn ornaments, I think we can really turn this place into a hot spot to trot. Now, have they put the gravel down yet? It does not look like it, but they did at least grade it. Wow, they really did a good job with that sod. Holy cow. This place looks awesome. Let's get our butts to work and get this place cleaned up. Cutting myself a little bit of a barrier around the house and garage. That way when we start doing our back and forth passes, they can stay in nice straight lines. But there are quite a few areas I can already see that we're going to need to almost tear up the turf and make new pathways, like this back door coming to the garage. All of that will be addressed. But on the note that we were mentioning 3800 the buck, we will pop up in the drone and watch as we do all of the relandscaping process and tune in to FarmSim's greatest radio. Husqvarna should make pretty quick work of the ground at hand. Could I have used the Ventrac? Yes, but I feel this was the more suited piece of equipment for this job. Gravel Company is going to haul in quite a few loads to try and pack down that driveway. I just really can't explain how excited I am to see what the finished product looks like. There is one side, now time for the other. Driveway is clean, let's move to the side yard. I'm really excited that the couple decided to leave that trail system back there. It just looks so good. And I'll be eager to put some park benches back in there so you have places to sit alongside the trail. Backyard's decently sized, but I think their side yard is what's really going to get more use. And figuring out a way to get to the trail system from the house might be a bit of a challenge, since that's the door that I would consider the back door. Might lead it over to the inlet. Where is it at? I think it's right there. No, it is not. Where did I leave that inlet at? Oh, it's over on the far side. There's the other one. We'll figure it out. That'll finish out the lawn. Let's pop up in the drone and see what we can make this place look like. Likely going to do it for our little bit of decoration. Kind of a hard one to do just because of how much open space and limited resources we had to really work with, but they did haul in all of the gravel, as you guys saw us lay down up top. Got a nice American flag pole with the same flower bed surrounding it. Going up front, these guys really like the flowers, so we hauled in the flower boxes. Kind of got like a little walkway into the back corridor for the backyard. Little play set for the kids, as well as a bigger decorative windmill. Not an operational one, but you know, it kind of fits the vibe out here. As we move to the backyard, you have the above ground like inflatable pool. Probably should have leveled off the ground a little bit better, but I think for what they're doing, it'll work. Nice outdoor gazebo. And this is the part I really wanted to see up close. So we do have the path lights that will guide us through the night, but it just looks so nice. And we really kind of had to figure out what kind of a ground texture we wanted on this. We just slightly tilled up the dirt, threw some topsoil on, as well as some bigger rocks to help with the turf. Another smaller version of that big windmill. And our first bench, you can overlook in the morning the backyard pond, lake, whatever you want to call it, which looks phenomenal. And as we continue our journey, we got a little birdie sitting on top of the tree stump. I want to say it's like a hawk. I think it's a hawk. I know it's not an eagle. You play chess out in the morning. This back lake is really what sells the property. That's half the reason it's so expensive. Little bird bath. And our secondary bench, which this one you can get an up close lake view. That is really cool. Dip your toes in, get them a little wet. And now I'm going to have to change my socks because I forgot I was not wearing waterproof shoes. Heading down the other side of the path, we have this bench, which I'm curious as to how the site looks for it. Why are all of these like such photogenic places? I mean, that bush could probably come out and not allow you to see the rest of it, but I kind of like the more compact point of view, a little bit more secluded. There's the other entrance from the side of the house. We might want to trim off this side branch. That way you can walk back here a little easier or even see it. but this will take you right to the side of the creek bed where you can see the nice running water from the pond. I think the place turned out fantastic. It's simple. It's not something over the top. The property still has plenty of room to just be there and expand. I think that is going to be all that we have for you guys today. Thank you all so much for tuning into the landscape series. Be sure to check out the rest of it in the top right-hand corner of your screen right now. But we shall see you guys all in the next one. Remember to keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh. Most importantly, keep it fun. We shall see you all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.